Good evening, everyone. This is Atmospheric Alex here. After a very long extended break, finals are finally over, and I will be able to do more uploads. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming chances for snow coming up for portions of the upper Midwest into the central Midwest, down to the Ohio Valley, and everywhere in between. I'm going to keep you updated. And then, towards the middle of the video, we're going to talk about a brief warm-up that'll be coming up, and then a big-time cool-down that will really try and settle in through early to mid-January. We'll get into that at the end of the video. Alright, so we're going to start off today's video with our precipitation chart here over the next couple of days. So here is our massive system of snow. Some people like to call this an Alberta Clipper, and I suppose I will as well, though you can tell there is some mixed precipitation. Getting into, well, right as we're speaking here, we're talking about a period of moderate to heavy snow moving into the U.S., moving into Montana, then moving into North Dakota. Look at all of that snow overnight tonight. You all are already tired of it up there, I just know it. And even creeping down into portions of South Dakota with some freezing rain on the backside, some icing concerns maybe. This will be moving into Minnesota, going into early tomorrow morning here. And again, moderate, maybe some periods of heavy snow going into portions of Iowa, Wisconsin, you could see there. And even a cheeky little lake effect streamer up here in Lake Michigan with a bunch of vortexes embedded. Now switching on over to our NAM model, which will allow us to see further in the future. Period of moderate to heavy snow moving into Wisconsin. The entire state will likely be feeling this tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, yada yada yada. It's going to be going on for a while. We were talking about areas here, like Madison could get on the snow. Milwaukee, look at Chicago here, could even see some snow. Talking about around 6 to 9 p.m. tomorrow night, moving into northern Indiana. And then you could also see some of your lake effect snow moving the wrong direction here. What is it doing? Yeah, it's because we have southeasterly winds. Some more areas like effect snow up in Michigan. You get the idea. Just snow for everyone. Central Illinois, portions of Indiana. Just take a look at this in Michigan. Just constant snow. And as we head into Friday morning, we could see it starting to stretch a little further south here. A little bit of a tail feature here going down into Kentucky and potentially even Tennessee. We'll have to see if it reaches that far south. And you could just see on and off snow showers just basically everywhere. Widespread snow is what I am expecting and what all the models are expecting as well. See it getting a little bit more moderate to heavy in portions of New York. Look at Buffalo there, Rochester, Watertown. Yeah, if you remember that from all the lake effect snow you've gotten this year. And that was through day on Friday, going into Friday night, lingering flurries and snow showers out and about. With some lake effect energy starting to stream off of Lake Michigan here, and pound some areas like Gary, Chesterton will likely begin on some heavy squalls, and potentially even going further east like Michigan City. So how much snow can you expect across these areas? Well, we have our national blend models here. Basically incorporates every single model you can think of. And as we go through time here, you can see your snow really beginning to build up. Look at this by the end of the time frame. We are talking about, look at that, 6 to potentially upwards of 8 inches there across northern North Dakota, around 6 inches across the majority of that area as well. Moving into central Minnesota, we're talking about 4 to 6 inches for the Twin Cities area, and Wisconsin getting their fair share, 6 to 9 inches here, central Wisconsin, like Madison, going into Oshkosh as well. And into Green Bay. Now moving into the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic regions, you're going to start to see your snow really falling here. Take a look at how quickly it can accumulate in some areas. And we're going to go all the way out to about 96 hours here And let's just kind of take a look at your rundown here. As I've said, around 6 to 8 inches for your Twin Cities, I would say. Going into central Wisconsin, portions like Madison, around 7 to 8 inches. Your lake effect areas like Green Bay could see upwards of 8 to 10 to maybe even a foot of snow. Just kind of got to watch that, And areas going down into Chicago, maybe an inch or two across, portions of northwestern Indiana. Going into Michigan here, Grand Rapids around 2 to 4 inches, inland portions of Michigan 2 to 4 inches, and going into Detroit an inch or two could be expected there. And really for everyone else, Cleveland here could pick up a quick inch or so. And going into, look at this, portions of central western New York, maybe 2 to 5 inches. So definitely something to watch. Buffalo could get 2 to 3 inches. You know the deal. Let's also take a look at everywhere in between as we go from, look at that, into central Illinois, down to Indiana, down to central and eastern Kentucky, to eastern Tennessee here. I cannot forget about you all. And if really any other slightly lower elevated areas could see upwards of probably just a dusting. Maybe a half inch in localized spots, but that's probably about all you're going to see there, especially eastern Kentucky getting a little bit more on the action. Now for your mountain favored areas, portions of your southern Appalachians through here. I'm making sure to be pretty exact here. I don't want to get the forecast wrong for my own area. But we're talking about upwards of 4 to potentially even 8 inches of snow up in the Smokies. I know how these events go. Typically, they overperform. And going into portions of the West Virginia mountains, yeah, because of your northwest flow, could see potentially over 8 inches in localized areas. Same deal for your Allegheny Mountains as well. Could probably see in between 4 to 6 inches, depending on your elevation. And going into, take a look at this, into New York City, an inch or two of snow. And I know you all have been wanting this all winter, really all fall, and you haven't seen any yet. So for you snow lovers over there, please enjoy it while it lasts, because it will be short-lived. Now, remember, I was just talking about how short-lived some of the snow might be. Do you want to know why? Well, we're going to take a look at our medium range and even slightly longer range model predictions here to see what could be happening up next. And by the way, I hope you've been enjoying these wonderful snow transitions so far. Believe it or not, that was actual footage that I took the other night when we got a nice surprise snow event. Nice half-inch fell, some of the heaviest snow rates I have seen in quite some time. Yeah, believe it or not, I was out there enjoying every second, every minute of the event. Well, let's take a look at your mid to long range models here. We're just going to take a look at your European model as it tends to be more accurate. As you can see right now, we are talking about a cold front that is passing through the majority of the Eastern U.S., and hopefully you all can read this while it is a little bit small, I will say. But we're talking about daytime highs tomorrow that are a little bit more chilly than they were today. Take a look at this. Let's start here up in the northern tier. Single digits. We could even see a couple localized spots with highs around -2 degrees. Whew, that is really cold. And let me tell you, that is just not fun at all to be in. I've had to deal with it many times. Living up in this general vicinity, it has not been fun at all. Now, thankfully, the rest of the country won't be nearly as cold. Still, look at this, talking about in the plains. Some of your low to mid 50s here, light hoodie could be needed. And portions across the Ohio Valley, look at that, down near freezing, goodness. And going into portions of the Northeast, same song and dance. Your Southeast across here, you see a very big difference between your lower Southeast, upper Southeast here, with your cold front really crashing on through here, as it has been throughout the entirety of today. So, highs in the northern portions here, probably in the mid to upper 40s. And down here, look at this. low to mid to even upper 70s, maybe even cracking 80 in Florida. That is quite normal for this time of year. Now let's speed this up a little, shall we? Continuing on through, you can see some of your Arctic shots and whatever. Take a look here Saturday. Nice bit of a cold front moving through. Talk about highs. Yeah, they aren't really high, are they, across the entirety of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Upper Southeast. Temperatures likely hovering around the freezing mark or just above. So, very frigid conditions there. And just if you do see a bit more of a snowpack, which, especially for East Tennessee, I do not expect that, then maybe your temperatures could be a little bit colder, but we'll have to see. Now, going through time, the lows could be down, look at this, some of your teens here across your Appalachian regions. Negative temperatures across portions of Wisconsin. Northeast getting in on it a lot more. And let's keep going. Look at this. We start getting a bit of a warm-up around Christmas, and especially right after Christmas, where we're talking about highs in the 50s and 60s, maybe even 70s, especially in your southern tier here. We'll just have to see. Gonna be a lot more mild here. We're gonna have to see about some storm chances as well. Maybe some severe weather concerns way down here across the deep south in Dixie Alley. Your warm-up carries on as we go day after day after day and just feels so nice down here across your southeast and deep south. But look at towards the end here. Whoa, we get a big old cool down that starts sweeping the Western U.S., blasting through the Central U.S., and will likely be impacting portions of the Eastern U.S. So we are expecting a lot cooler conditions as we head into January. Yes, well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Look at this warm bubble here. Just persistent warmth across the entire nation. I mean, my goodness. After Christmas, it won't really feel like winter anymore, which is a good thing because after that, well, I hate to say it, big time cool down on the way. If you are not a fan of the cold air or the snow, look away. That's all I can say. That kind of rhymed there, didn't it? So early January, talk about definitely below average conditions are possible here across much of the central and eastern U.S. here. Yeah, just take a look at that. Your northeast as well feeling the chill. This is not guaranteed. This is not a lock at any stretch of the imagination. We saw this last year on the models, and it went poof, gone. I don't really think we'll see that this year, as this is a lot more realistic looking. But keep that in mind. So chances could certainly be on the rise in early to mid-January, so we'll just have to keep a sharp eye on your forecast. Same thing with your 2-meter temperature anomalies here around the surface. Yeah, take a look at that nice pool of cold air. Again, winter weather fans, yeah, you might have something to finally look forward to. Not a guarantee, not a forecast, but keep that in mind. And let's take a look at your potential storm development here on your 500 millibar geopotential height. In your oranges and reds, that indicates higher pressure, calmer conditions, maybe even warmer conditions. In your blue colors here, that indicates stormier conditions and areas of lower pressure. So as we continue on through, this is where after Christmas, high pressure dominates the nation. Like I said, above average temperatures, below average precipitation. You get the idea. But after that, after New Year's, look at this. We start to see a bit of blue appearing, a bit of lower pressure beginning to appear, and you begin to see some storm systems that are possible if this stays on track. A lot colder air as well. And what do you get when you get precipitation and cold air? Snow. Not a guarantee, not a forecast, but look at this in the northeast. Your heights here really low, your 540 line dipping into the northeast, so your snow chances will certainly be prevalent. And after that, I mean, going through mid-January, you start to see this moving a bit further west now. In order to get a really big threat for storms across the southeast, like winter weather, we're going to need this to shift a lot further west, right? And what we need is your energy from down here in the deep south, basically your southern stream, and your energy from up here in your northern stream to combine right in the middle to produce a fairly significant snowstorm for the southeast, mid-Atlantic. You get the idea, the Ohio Valley as well. So we need this to be further west so it can quote-unquote phase. All right, that's another term. So it can phase and kind of come together like a sandwich, and we can get some energy building up in the middle there. I hope that all made sense to you. And you can see it does kick further west, so this is very noteworthy. This would be your snow chances, and then by the end, it might fade away. And we might be on a return to a high pressure into February. We have no idea. Don't ask me. We have no idea. We thought we did last year, we learned the hard way. How about your precipitation anomalies? Well, we're starting off below average across the entire nation. But remember, just because we're below average does not mean that we won't be seeing any snow. You see areas in your browns here still are going to be seeing snow over the next few days. Just keep that in mind. You could see dry, high pressure conditions. And as we go into our low pressure, our colder conditions, well, look at this. Take a look at that. We are seeing below average precipitation slightly, not as much though, across much of the mid-Atlantic regions, northeast, Ohio Valley, some Midwest, and down in your southeast. But take a look, all right, right in the middle here, where we're not seeing above average or below average, we're seeing just average. And at this time of year, yeah, that can mean snow. So we'll just have to see. I mean, we can be hopeful, but I mean, that's not really going to get us anywhere. So just kind of keep that in mind, especially look at this as your energy could begin to phase here according to the models. Yeah, just average precipitation, even some light greens in the mountains there. Really do need to keep an eye on this. This would be your snow chances, and who knows, maybe your Climate Prediction Center will issue a risk of snow in this time frame. Very far out, so be cautious. Yeah, even some greens showing up here, so not completely out of the question to see maybe a snowier pattern going into early to mid-January. All right. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today's video. Really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash the like button and maybe even subscribe to my Corner of the Weather community. I really hope I can get more uploads out, not only for your sake, but for my sake, as I'm a bit rusty right now, and I was kind of trailing off in all different directions. I hope I did good. And once again, feel free to leave a comment if you wish, and share this with friends, family, or on social media. And I will be seeing you all whenever I see you next. Hopefully that could be in the next few days. Hope you all have a lovely night.